Luka Doncic has been one of the best players in the NBA for the past few years. And with the crazy stat lines he's been able to put up, it's really made me wonder what makes Luka so unstoppable. I mean, on face value, he doesn't look like a lot of the typical dominant players in NBA history. He's not abnormally tall, or super quick, or stronger than everybody else, which are all traits that have made other players as great as they are. So, for somebody without any real God-given strengths physically, how does Luka make it look so easy? Right now, he's averaging a ridiculous 34.7 points per game, which is the second highest in the league, 8.6 rebounds, 9.6 assists, which is the third highest in the league, shooting 48.9% from the field and 37.5% from three. Nearly a triple-double while also averaging almost 35 points a game is actually insane. Offensively, there's just not much you can do to really stop him. As slow as he may look sometimes, he is nearly impossible to stop from scoring one-on-one, and if you send a double team, he's got the IQ and the passing ability to find good open looks for his teammates. Luka's been this great for a few years now, but he's been in a lot of conversations recently because of his 73-point masterclass on the Atlanta Hawks, and rightfully so. A lot of people are acknowledging how impressive of a game this was, but some of these conversations and takes have been made to discredit or minimize the game that he had. The biggest critique coming from the way that the Atlanta Hawks played defense against Luka. Now, on a lot of these plays, it does look like Atlanta is basically just letting him score. This one in particular is just crazy, like there's no excuses for this one. But for the people like Stephen A. Smith that said stuff like this,
the fans didn't want what we saw last night in Atlanta. Did you see that?
Sure?
I mean, that was a layup. That was just, listen, that was a
It was like the All-Star game.
The Atlanta Hawks, no wonder why y'all stink. Did you see how they played defense last night? I mean, what transpired last night in Atlanta was disgraceful. It made me feel like, let's just go out and get somebody that don't want. You don't have to play defense. All you got to do is play offense. You don't have to play defense. That's what the hell took place in Atlanta last night. There's a difference.
And plenty of people on Twitter that have used these short little clips and made it seem like he was just walking to the basket for layups all game, which is just a lie. That's just not what happened. Look at possessions like this. Atlanta sends the double team to Luka, and he's able to find the open look because he's one of the best passers in the NBA. Especially when players like Derek Lively are on the Mavericks, who's one of the best lob threats in the NBA. And when Kyrie is on the court, you have two players who can get a bucket on anybody. You can't double him, and if you try, he's going to pick your defense apart and get a bucket or get the ball to the open man. Takes like Stephen A. and everybody was making after this 73-point game was honestly just disrespectful to how good of a game this was. And because Joel Embiid had just put up 70 points like 4 days before, I don't think everybody was as surprised as they should have been. And a lot of these high-scoring games, you can just watch the game and tell that they're trying to get the ball to them every possession, and they want it to be a high-scoring night for them, and after they had taken like 40 shots just for a 60-point game. Which is exactly what happened with Karl Anthony Towns. The same night that Embiid dropped 70, they were trying to get Cat the ball as much as possible just so he could have his high-scoring night, and it resulted in them losing the game to the Hornets. When Joel Embiid dropped 70, of course it was impressive, but majority of the game was spent foul baiting and playing bully ball. It took him 41 shots and 23 free throw attempts to hit 70 points. And when you compare every other 70-point game ever to Luka's 73-point game, efficiency-wise, it's not even close. Luka shot 25 of 33 from the field in this game. That is 75.8%. And when you compare that to Embiid's 70-point game, Kobe's 81, Donovan Mitchell 70, Dame 70, David Robinson 71, Devin Booker 70, none of them are even close field goal percentage wise. Watch majority of the buckets that Luka was getting in this game. While a lot of times he was able to get past his defenders pretty easily for a layup, and it looks like they weren't even trying, a lot of these shots are contested and he's shooting very difficult jump shots. And in case you thought this was a fluke, 2 games later, he dropped 45 points with 15 assists and 9 rebounds against the Magic. What truly confuses me about Luka is how good he is this early. From everything I just pointed out, and just watching the guy, he plays like a 10-year vet. But he was only drafted in 2018, and he's only 24 years old. So, how does he have this level of basketball IQ this early? A big reason is how long Luka's been playing basketball at a professional level. The man was in NBA 2K17 as a 16-year-old. As a 59 overall, sure, but he was 16 years old. And then about 2 years later, he was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks in the 2018 draft and then traded to the Mavericks for Trae Young. Ironically, the guy he just dropped 73 on, so it's safe to say that the Mavericks made the right choice. He has been playing against top-tier competition from a very young age, so he has a lot of experience on his peers, and he has so much more time left in the league. Right now, he's averaging career highs in points per game, assists, three-point percentage, and free throw percentage, and each year you can see his growth in production. Luka is a superstar, and a player I'd be more than willing to bet will be the face of our league for many years to come. It seems like everybody has somehow gotten used to these games and stat lines he has, and while Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis have dominated the MVP race these past few years, Luka has been right there the whole time. And the only thing setting him back is playing for a team not ready to contend for a championship. Kyrie Irving has been a solid co-star to Luka this season, averaging about 25, 5, and 5. But as much as I love Kyrie, he is just not consistent enough to be the second best player on a championship team today. And I haven't been big on the Kyrie-Luka duo from the jump. Derek Lively has fit his role in the team perfectly, and if he can pan out and continue getting better, him and Luka could be a deadly duo. But as of right now, they have zero championship aspirations. They're the 8th seed in the West right now, so they'd be a play-in team this year, and Luka isn't just a regular season star, he can turn it up in the playoffs. Just ask Devin Booker about the Luka special. I believe that all these things will come with time, and if the Mavericks can surround him with the talent that he needs, I don't see how Luka doesn't win multiple championships. I know it's still somewhat early to be making predictions like that, but I don't care. Luka is on a different planet right now, and there's not much stopping him from being a top 15 player ever. I mean, Jason Kidd, somebody that played with and won a championship with Dirk Nowitzki back in 2011, just said that he thinks Luka is better than Dirk already. Now, you can definitely say it's because he's coaching the Mavericks right now and he wants to hype up his team's best player, but still, calling Luka in year 6 without any accolades better than Dirk, who brought the Mavs their only championship in franchise history and played 21 seasons with Dallas, is pretty insane. And to be honest, some of you guys aren't gonna like this, but he might not be wrong. Obviously, Dirk has finished his career and achieved more than Luka has so far. But player for player, Luka provides a lot more than Dirk in my opinion. And if I was asked to build my team around Luka or Dirk, I'm taking Luka. In conclusion, please do not let these trolls on Twitter or analysts on First Take like Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins convince you that these Luka performances are anything short of greatness. As slow and easy to stop as he may seem, Luka Doncic is the most unstoppable player in the NBA.